That's good. Hello. Yes, I know. I waited a bit so long there that my wife came up and said, "You gotta start." So here we are. I apologise for starting late on this one. But for everyone else, well, it's two things. One, it's good for the Americans, right? It's you got to spread the love out. We can't keep it all to ourselves here in the UK. We have to spread the love with our colonial cousins across the pond. And this timing is good for them, I think. Some of them, and maybe some crazy Australians who are just getting up from a night shift or so. I don't know. But Australia, we already established on a previous stream, doesn't exist. So the internet said so. So it's late, but good for the Americans. And the reason why it's late, I don't know if anyone noticed, but it's like hot. Anyone else notice the heat? It's like, and when I say hot, by the way, Americans, I don't. Anyone else? Anyone? I mean not hot like good hot, like you're on a beach sipping margaritas and there's dolphins frolicking in the surf. Not nice. Yeah, look, spin bass, flip bass, fly said it's so hot. Sitting here sweating in my chair. Yes, it is winter. There's a bloody oven in the house. It is a little toasty, stifling. It's about 2 million centigrade. Here we are in the UK and it's hot and we're not built for the heat. We're built for the rain and built to be miserable and it's hot. Which means my cat is dead half the day. I'm dead half the day. I've not been sleeping very well because I keep waking up. And then last night I fell asleep on the sofa and woke up about 4 in the morning with a pussy stressed out all over me. It's hot. There's only so many times you can sit in your car with the air conditioner on, listening to songs like Air Supply or Busted or One Direction or a bit of Taylor Swift. I do like a bit of Tay-Tay, just because it's the only thing in your life that actually has an air conditioner in it. Or open the fridge door and stand next to it. And so yeah, has anyone else got any air conditioning here in the UK or maybe in America? Do we have any Americans in the chat? Could we fly the flag for the Americans, please? So anyway, that's why I'm a bit late. Brap, I'm glad that you're here. Get to the point. I'm getting to the point. So I need help and I've got a great idea and I want to share this great idea with you now. Well, no, not right away, actually. I want to... It's hot in Paris, you see. Considering getting aircon. Brad, has he ever gotten to the point right away? See, when do I ever get to the point right away? And some of you have already noticed, thank you earlier on, someone became a tier 2 member. So that's part of the idea, which we need to talk about. But before West Coast Canada there, well, you know, West Coast, that's hours behind. Anyway, so, yes. Before we get to the why I need help, I need to tell you a story because it came to me. It was an epiphany. Are we all here? Hang in there. Come on. Let's grab a cup of tea, okay, or a warm brandy or something. Strap yourselves in. We're going on a winter's journey. Okay. So it occurred to me that I really like. I'd say I can't even remember where I was going to start. Where was I going to start? Oh, yes, that was it. Story time. Here we go. That's it. Thank you for mentioning story time, Mr. Eggsauce. Because someone on a live stream a short time ago asked me, would I ever do a live... am I ever going to do a story time again? And I said, no, I don't have the mental capacity after my journey to do that right now. I don't have that inspiration, that bite. I don't think I could do it. And then what's happening is I met a dude at an event. This dude met another dude at Weekend at Bernie's, which was part of the deployment zone community. And I realized that, well, I always knew that nothing happens on its own, that none of this happens on its own, but I'm at the event and everyone's there, everyone's doing something, and this channel hasn't grown on its own. It's always been you, it's always been us. And story times and the journeys we've been on together and the Gehenna and stuff like that. And I think I got carried away in the conversation with this dude, Keith Moore. Thank you for being members for 7 months. And I got carried away with him. And basically he's turning up on Saturday with his mate. So he's got Word Bearers. I think he's the demon player. Demon Word Bearers versus the 13th. Because he'd love to play the 13th. Some sort of narrative conundrum. We haven't come up with a thing yet. I think it's about 3,000 points. And the 13th and the Word Bearers have beef going back to the Galmec incident, which is one of the earliest campaigns we put exclusively in the deployment zone. So see how this evolves, see how you complete me. And in the run up to this game on Saturday, he's like a clever guy, and he wrote this bit of narrative and sent it through to me, and it was like a prologue of his game in the run up, and it was glorious. People send me stuff, but this was next level. This was like, I read his narrative and I thought, this is like a Black Library thing. He's really good. And it really tickled me when there's a bit in his story time which is the Word Bearers and and they get mauled on the escape from Hendris. It's the story of them leaving Hendris, the fires of Hendris, and they get mauled on the way out by the 13th Legion, the Ultramarines, and then they appear in a star system for repair, and the 13th are waiting for them, and he says, no, oh, those treacherous Rubik Gulliman's dogs again. No, not the 13th Legion, the 13th. And it was like, bam, that was really cool. I loved this bit of narrative he put, and he put my thing into it. So then I wrote a story time. So then I thought, well, he's done the Word Bearer's demon side of the story, so I should write the 13th side of the story. So what happened at Henris, why the 13th waiting, and it cuts between the 13th story and the Word Bearer's story, and back and forward. And I finished writing it and sent it back to him and said, hey, what do you think of this idea? And he said, wow. And so we are in the process of doing another story time, which is essentially the prologue and build up to the campaign, to the battle that we're going to have on Saturday. And the reason why the story time isn't ended is because we don't know how the battle finishes yet. And it will just be a battle. And Snow's in it. And Morsis is in it. And it's going to be glorious because... So the story time is coming. And I've even got it on my phone. The journey back from Sentinel. I wrote the prologue, I wrote all the 13th bits and then edited it and stuff. So another story time is coming. It's going to be 20-30 minutes long. If you haven't checked any of my previous story times, there is a playlist in YouTube, which is like tutorials and story times. And the story time for Chaplain Snow, I feel it is the best work I've ever done as an artiste. I think it's and it's great painting material if you haven't listened to it already, and sit down with a cup of tea and paint away. Is there anyone in the chat who has listened to the story of Chaplain Snow? I'd like to, I can do a poll on that, right? Can't I? So it's a poll. Have you heard, no, click in the thing. Have you listened to Snow Store? Oh, it'd be interesting to see what portion of you have and have not. Question mark. You have to put a question mark on the end of it. The Snow story time, because it's one of the most prouder things that I've done. Many times. Love Chaplain Snow. Cool, good, thank you. That's nice. So I'm doing another one. Not, oh, well, Snow's in it. And then we'll have the battle on Saturday. Then I'll be able to finish it off. And I'm so tempted to read you the story time right now because I'm so proud of it. But I'm not going to do that because this live stream isn't about that. And I should wait until... I mean, you don't want to spoil a sneak peek of what I've written. The prologue, maybe. Do you? I don't know. So that's coming. And yeah, and in writing that, it's always... Yeah. I love the help and the inspiration I get from you guys as much as I'm sure the help and the inspiration I give you too. I love this community, and it's got me to where I was, and the deployment zone community got me out of the factory, and I will forever be grateful for the deployment zone and everything it's done for me. And I have got an idea, as per the name of the video. I've got an idea and I need help. But let's leave cliffhanger ending. Let's look at the chat and see what you're talking about. Let's look at that thing. So about a third of my viewers out of 73 votes. I think that's enough of a sample. About a third have listened to the story time of Chaplain Snow. And if you haven't, and if you are a painter, please do so. I like that one. Maybe you'll listen to the other ones which aren't strong. But end poll. No spoilers, exactly. No spoilers. Not even the prologue. No. Story times are so worth checking out. Personally, I think the Eldar are to blame for the fall of the... What? Okay. Really forward... Oh, there's Imperiex there in grey. Imperiex, thumb up, heart. Really looking forward to bringing my word bearers up on Saturday. Yes, it's going to be good. And we're going to find out how Drachmor gets slaughtered by Chaplain Snow, aren't we? So I don't want to keep you too late. So the idea is to catch some Americans, and because it's so hot, and I'm aware that it's like go to bed time for people in UK. So I will try and keep this under an hour. I think we've been going about 20 minutes, and it might end in the next 10. So I've got a great idea. This is a great idea. The first great idea I had playing with my friends was someone stuck between Blood Angels and Dark Angels, which faction do you prefer? It's not about what I prefer, it's about what faction you prefer. Read a bit of the lore and look at the models. Always get something you prefer. So yes, I had an idea. Sorry for burping. I had an idea to start filming the 40k. That happened, and then it got popular, and I tried to get some sponsorship and use YouTube Red, I think it was called back then, but that didn't work out. And then I tried Patreon, and had a Patreon and had my own Discord for a while. And then me and Liam focused on Deployment Zone, and that was the best way to get us out of the factory, and in doing so be able to deliver more content for you wonderful people. So the channel's always been moving, always been evolving, and where we are now is where I am now is there's people out there, I'm aware, that aren't members of the Deployment Zone. www.tv deploymentzone.tv. If you do want to support me, that's always the best way to support me. Lovely community, lots of events, Discord, things like that. But there's some people that don't want to support me in the Discord, and so I've got a great idea and I need help implementing it. And the first great idea is open up a Discord for YouTube members. So now we've got the 13th YouTube member level, which is £3, and then we've got the Discord member level, which is £5. And I need mods. That's what I need help with. I need to figure out what the tier names are for the different members. Then I need to put up some videos for YouTube members exclusively. So those of you who want to support me through YouTube can support me through YouTube. And then also look at the logo and start getting some Winter's SEO merch. And so, yeah, I need help in building the next stage of the Winter's SEO journey. So I am always going to be grateful to the Deployment Zone, and this change, this addition, will mean that no one in the Deployment Zone misses out, because any video that I put up on the YouTubes, I'll also put up on the Deployment Zone as well. And still go to Deployment Zone. The Deployment Zone was the only way to get out at the time, but now we have YouTube memberships. We have other ways that people can support the channel if they want to support the channel. So that's my idea. 3-4 years ago, when Deployment Zone started, there was no YouTube memberships, and YouTube and Deployment Zone is awesome, and I'll always be a part of it. And we can start something together again. We can start another journey as well, which is you can become a channel member, and then I've unlocked the Discord for level 2 members. That's happened like today, much to Brap's annoyance, because Brap is there, like ready, and I told him, don't worry, it won't be a dam. It isn't. so we're good. And then maybe I would also caution you, if you're thinking about becoming a member, to wait until some videos come up, because now I need to, when I say I did this, it was mainly Kat that did all these things, but now I need to get it to a point where, like, so yeah, so that's it. So we're going for YouTube memberships, and we're going to go on another journey, and a new journey. And basically, I have not developed the Winters SEO brand in the last 3.5 years. It's just push deployment zone. And now there's an opportunity to push that brand, the Winters SEO brand, and do things a bit differently for myself, and ask the community to help me in this journey. So that's where I am. So if there's big fans from the YouTubes out there, consider becoming a member, or consider joining my Discord, and you get that if you become a tier 2 member. And then next week or the week after, we'll start putting videos in there. The videos will be the videos that you can access in the deployment zone as well, except for the videos that go up every other Tuesday in the deployment zone. So that's the heartbeat of the deployment zone. There's always been a battle report every Tuesday from me and Liam, so that will stay the same. But yeah, so that's where we are. So next week, videos as well, or the week after. So what do you guys think? Because I'm just going for it here. What do you think? Now click on the thing. Bad or good? Yes, no. Now how do you make that a yes, no answer? I don't know. Anyway, so the logo's going to change, I think. Oh yeah, as Brap says, you also gain access to the exclusive Winters SEO Discord, a super chill community where you can chat, and that happens at tier 2. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, I've got like the 13th, that's my first membership tier, and I'm thinking of just calling it like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, that sort of thing. Liam's on the same page. So there'll be the deploymentzone.tv community. The deploymentzone.tv isn't going anywhere. Built a really good community there, firmly focused on narrative gaming, and firmly focused on campaign play, things like that. And we've really helped develop small micro communities all across the UK that are enjoying their type of 40k. So that's not going anywhere. There's just people who maybe are in America or Australia or around the world who want to just support me on YouTube because they're not part of the UK community. So Hugo Merchant, thank you for signing up already. I appreciate it. And then next week we'll get some videos. I'm thinking the first series to launch, I'm thinking basically at the moment, I put a video every Sunday on every week I put a Sunday video out. It's just every other week it goes on YouTube, and every other week it goes in the deployment zone. I think it's share that one straight away, so YouTube members will get a video every Sunday all the time in there. So that's my first thing. I need yeah, so gonna need mods for that thing. Thank you, Gareth, for upgrading your membership. Gonna need mods for that. Are we thinking tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or has anyone got any clever ideas to call the different tiers for the membership for the YouTube? So that's another thing. Mods, I talked about that. Logos, yeah, this guy's designing, but if anyone's got any ideas for t-shirts or what kind of merch you'd like to see, then please pop in the Discord, in the Winters Discord, and then just, you know, make some merch suggestions, or you can make merch suggestions here. The tier thing, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, I like calling it that because it feels neutral, whereas beforehand you might have dinosaur level versus duck level, and dinosaur level is clearly a bit better than duck level because dinosaur level can eat duck level. So you don't need dinosaurs and ducks, or what you need is just a tier, because certain different people have different people who want to contribute have got different levels at which they can contribute, and I appreciate everything that's ever been given and everything that's ever been supported, and the help I've got from Brap Scallion for help setting up this Discord, and the help I get from everyone who helps to come and film campaigns with me, such as the Necromunda campaign or the Silver Cage campaign, which you can find in the deployment zone. The next campaign that I start filming is on Friday this week with Monkey, and obviously it's going to be Space Wolves versus something, but I don't know what, because we wrote it down. He came for a day and we spent about 8 hours barnstorming, maybe 6, but we spent a long time barnstorming what the campaign would look like, and he wrote it all down because he had a spreadsheet. Monkey's a legend like that. And yeah, and that was it. And I wrote it all with him 4 months ago. And so he sent the email, and the last time I thought about this campaign was back when we wrote it. That's how my brain works. That's how this creative process works. So yeah, so it's Monkey coming down, Brap coming down, the support, the subscribers, everyone. Apparently if you click like and things. So anyway, that's my idea. I've got an idea. The idea is to develop a Winters SEO YouTube community. Again, I've had one before. You can monetize YouTube now, and there are some people out there who'd like to support me this way. So if you want to support me this way, you can. And if you just watch and have fun and like, share, subscribe and all that crap, then we'll all have fun together. So yeah, it's been hot. I have no other idea. How do you cool down, guys? How possibly could I cool down a little bit more in this sweatbox with all these screens on and the things? You know, I can't open the window because flies and bugs and noise out there from the orcs and the Astartes are killing each other. I could run naked in the streets or put my feet in cold water. Trust? Well, yeah, but that means leaving and going to get some cold water. What does take it off mean? I don't understand that. Ginger Steve says eat an ice lolly. Eat an ice lolly, which is an interesting thing. Because before I came on stream, I was so hot that I ate a knobbly bobbly. And I really like knobbly bobblies because I like it to lick all the balls off. You know, like on the outside, you've got to get rid of all the balls first. And as many balls, you've got to separate as many balls as you can from the ice cream without injuring the soft ice cream inside. So you've got to lick all those balls really good, and you can't just crunch on it. So yeah. So top off, fan in front, yeah. A fan with ice tray, shower, damp t-shirt. Yeah, but all of these ideas are good ideas, but they're not ideas that I could do right now, is it? I can't just tongue out like a dog. I don't, yeah. So, and another thing I need to do is, on YouTube, it just suddenly occurred to me, is also members chat live streams. That's one of the things we're going to do as well. Because then, at the moment, I can't really do a Q&A with 137 people. But what I can do is a Q&A session with, say, 30 people, or have a members turn up. So the intention is to do one of those a month, every month as well. And on this format, I can do it, whereas I can't do that in the deployment zone. But I can do this and have a proper Q&A session with you guys at least once a month, every month. So yeah, do you guys have an AC? I do have an AC. There's a portable one there, and when it gets really bad here, it's out the window in the game room next door, and we'll stop between turns and blast that mofo for a good 15 minutes, close all the windows and then film as much as the turn, well, probably the whole turn, and then blast it again. I'd like to say I was that organized, but it might get blasted 3 or 4 times a game. And that helps because in there with the lights on, it gets crazy hot. Lick his wrists. So any idea for AC for 3 weeks of the year doesn't seem sensible. Exactly. You clearly in America, because yeah, who would get an AC for 3 months of the year? Can you recommend it? I don't know what you're talking about. What, my aircon? It's just a cheap mobile, like 100. I don't know how much it is. 100 quid, 150 quid, but it's an absolute must, and you can move it around and stick it in rooms and things. Typically, we don't need ACs, though, as Fennec pointed out. This is God's country. I don't know which God you're referring to, though, because there's been many gods on this country throughout time, of course. And there were gods on this country which, asked people to sacrifice other people. Human sacrifice was the big thing back in the day. The pagans, famous for it. Mind you, only a few hundred years ago, there were people sacrificed on Aztec pyramids, wasn't there? Their hearts being cut out of their chest with a flint knife and held up, screaming blood for the blood god. So the sun would come up the next day, and they killed like 1,000, or they killed a lot of them each day. Human sacrifice. We don't do enough of that these days. There should be more human sacrifice as well, shouldn't there, really? I mean, I can think about 90%. 90% of people have got to go, really, haven't they? I mean, people who chew with their mouth open on the train, particularly if it's an apple, they've got to go straight away. Those guys. People who play Craft World Eldar, got to go. There's plenty of people who've got to go. I mean, COVID, I thought that was it. We'd got rid of a chunk of, it'd blown through. Any disease that comes through, be it smallpox, malaria, whatever. Obviously, those that are sick and old, they get taken out first. And it's like a wildfire that rages. And I thought the roads would be really clear after COVID. Do you remember driving when COVID happened and you had to get somewhere? How clear the roads were? But the apocalypse never occurred. So we need a good apocalypse, and we need to slowly destroy our planet, and therefore the only ones who will survive will be the ones with the technology, or the ones with the gene crafting, the DNA technology. So over time what will happen is techno-barbarians will rise and gene witches will rise and will turn Earth into a rad-saturated wasteland and prepare the ground for his coming, for the Emperor. And then we'll unite under one banner, the imperial truth, scientific reason, and go across the stars, and not unite the lost tribes of man, because it would have happened 25,000 years sooner. But we can make that happen between ourselves. And to do that, like a good 99% people have to go, really. People who don't like Tay-Tay. I mean, what's not to like about Tay-Tay? She's young, she's innocent, she does catchy tunes. I like a bit of Tay-Tay. I think Love Story used to be my favourite one, but we'll go with Romeo and Juliet these days. That one's a bit on repeat in the car every now and then. Everyone else got a favourite Tay-Tay song out there? Just logged in. What's happening? Jimmy, Winter's just been Winters, so this is a great idea, the tube thing or human sacrifice. Well, either one. I mean, they said blood for the blood god, didn't they, the Aztecs, and they got plenty of blood. I mean, genocides don't come heavier than that. It's just like, that was pretty bad as it goes. So, Tay-Tay is a G by a country mile, exactly. 1989 best album. So we got some good Tay-Tay viewers in the chat. So that's the plan. Members only the thing. What are we talking about? I told you about the story time that's coming, which will be a look, text and things. I'm so excited that I actually managed to write something, and I'm really pleased that the person who's coming to fight me on Saturday helped settle in the first bit. So yeah, really hot. That's why the late stream. There will be logos coming. There will be the tier thing coming. Yes. I'd like the mashup with Taylor Swift and Korn. Taylor Swift and Korn. Oh, you like the mashup with Taylor Swift and Korn? Yeah. I remember Korn from back in the day. So that's what we're doing. So the Discord, the Winters SEO Discord is now live. Gonna do the video things soon. Video has been, for some reason, YouTube's been really slow on the rendering part. That's why the video yesterday came out really late. So I think I managed to get to release it like 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. The video came, and It was the Tabletop Titans one. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Anyone seen the Tabletop Titans one that I did yesterday? It's doing very well on the algorithm, which is why I'm worried about putting live streams up on Mondays. I'm also thinking about moving the live stream from a Monday. So, because you get the algorithm going, hey, this video did really well. And Teutonic Knight watched it. Thank you. We've got one person who watched it. Well done, chap. And so the algorithm goes, oh yeah, it's really good. That was nice, full way, lots of, and that took, I did delay editing that one. Yep, more people. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Marcus Lake. Appreciate you. And see how bad I am at this, by the way. I'm trying to say something. I look down there and then my brain disappears from where I was. So I put this video up. The algorithm likes it, so that means the algorithm will promote it more, which is why it's important to thumb up or like or subscribe to people that you like on the tubes, because then it's another way to support them for free. The algorithm likes them, the algorithm recommends them more. So now I'm doing these on Mondays, which will come out just after I've done battle reports, and I don't know what that does to the algorithm. I'd have a strong suspicion that it's probably not a good thing, that I should probably bring them out later in the week. But we're here for now. So, the one with Adrian or Bridger. Yeah, I know. Because it's Bridger, Adrian, Bridger. That one with them. Bridger's he's very, I don't know. He's very like Adrian and Adrian's very like Bridger. They're Americans. They all sound the same to me, and I'm a bit blind, so they all look the same to me. Only one can kill you with his eyes. So that one went out. What was I talking about? So yes, that one went out late because normally when I upload a video, it goes up pretty quickly, but the rendering time on YouTube can take a long time, and that one was a big one. So the upload thing, it comes up with the numbers. It says like this is a 4 or a 5 star size file. 5. It's computer terms, okay? There's a computer number it's basically most of the videos are a 4 or 5. And then some of the bigger videos that I put up in computer terms, in wigs, in gigs, in terrors, and I don't know what it is. Some of them even get to 6 and very few get to 7. That's what happens on the video thing. But the one that I did with the Titans, because it was so big, and that was after cutting out about 45 minutes, that was 11. I think that was an 11.3 on the computer thing. You know the computer thing? And it says this is how big the file is, it was 11.3. So I had to wait for it forever to rend, and then after it rends, then it does its checks in YouTube, and that took forever because it was an 11.3. You see, so I just clicked go because it was getting too late. It was like 7 or was it 5? I forget. I just clicked go, so it's up there and doing well. And because I clicked go, it took like a day for the monetization to catch up with it. But you know, you've got to put art over the money. Yeah, 11.3 bytes. They're all 4 or 5. Very few are 6. Maybe 4 or 5 is. So yeah, the 45 minutes where you broke Liam's Titans. No, I've already broken Liam's Titans. That was in an older video. Tabletop Titans. It should definitely have Titans in it, shouldn't it? So yeah, so then I posted that late, and I'm apologizing for that. And then now we're doing these on Mondays, and I'm wondering if these should move. So that's another thing. So I'm wondering if these should move. I'd appreciate some feedback on that in the comment section or in the Discord. Ideas for the tiers. I'm liking tier 1, 2, 3, and 3 will be 1 is you're a member, 2 is you get the Discord, and 3 is you get the Discord and the member and the videos. And then we're going to do the merch. I want to hear some ideas for that, and then members only video ideas for that. So that's what I need help with. So calling on anyone who wants to help, I would appreciate it. And then we're going to continue on this journey together, and I'll tell you what's going on and how it's going on. On that note, I painted another 10 warriors, and I've got 13 flayed ones up there that I need to finish off. A Y13 because I've already got 27 flayed ones. So if I add the 13 flayed ones to the 27 flayed ones, I'll have 40 flayed ones. The idea is, why would anyone need so many flayed ones, you're asking? The idea with the Necron project is I will never need any more flayed ones. I've got 18 wraiths. I will never need any more wraiths. I've got 30 plus scarabs. I will never need any more. I'm building a collection. I'm in the lucky place where I can get a couple of £100 worth of free stuff from Element. Because what happens is, anyone who uses the Element affiliate link, which is in the website on the back page, if you go to About, you'll find the affiliate link, or if you're in the Discord, it should be in there. Then you get 5% extra crystals, and I get 5% crystals for not doing anything, just because you use the affiliate link. It's how they drive sales. And that normally generates a couple £100 a month. So, Necrons. And then I shout out to the community and said, hey, can you send me some more? And guess what? Gonna have like 120 warriors by the time we're done. Wrong hole. I'm a long way from finishing the daily jug, and I'm trying to drink more than the daily drug and trying to do everything I can to stay cool, but I can't think of one more thing I could do to stay cooler in this sweatbox. So I do hope you're all can. Yes, this has been cleaned. I've cleaned it since. Drinking problem, I miss, yes. So, well done with the heat. Wrong hole, no. Minters might want to look at the question up there from Teutonic Knight. Are the videos behind the level 3 going to be different from those on DZTV? That's a good question. So the videos on DZTV are always going to be the videos on DZTV. And the videos on DZTV are going to get everything. And they're going to get a video every other Tuesday as well. One from Liam, one from me. So they're not going anywhere. And then the videos that I put out in the future from this point are going to be on both, except for the one every other Tuesday in Deployment Zone. So we support the Deployment Zone community, keep that alive and precious, and events and DZ days are still a thing up in Belper, which is a monthly narrative open friendly thing that we do. And then we've got the DZTV GT at the end of the month, at the end of every month at the Factorum. And that's for people who want GTs and their ITC points and things like that, or want to practice at match play. It's probably better for people who want to practice at match play, because the Factorum GT is actually quite a Diet Coke tournament. The scenery isn't tournament exacting. We try and make the tables look cool, as cool as we can, and tournament friendly. And because it's in the middle of the country down south, the kind of audience it attracts is different from the kind of audience that might go to bigger events and bigger majors, or into the heart of Manchester or into the heart of London. So it is actually quite a Diet Coke GT affair. So those are still going, and there's no way we want to stop any of that. So, but there is a chunk of an audience that isn't in the UK and wants to support me, and wants to support Winter's SEO, wants to support this channel, and that's the way to do it. So basically, same videos, DZTV gets an extra one every other month, every other week. Okay, so I've answered all the questions, I think, and then we'll do the members thing. I'm feeling it, guys, so hot. So any final questions, and I'll let you go to sleep because I know it's late. And looking at the viewer chat and the chat rate, even though I thought this would be a really good idea to do it for some Americans, clearly my core audience is here in the UK. So even though it's hot, next time do it earlier. Spin, bass, flip, bass, fly has a question, and it is, why is it so hot? I think because we established spin, bass, flip, bass, fly, that about 99.99% of people just need to go. And I think some things will sort themselves out after that. What do you reckon? I mean, yeah, it could be pure lottery for all I just care. Pure lottery. Just, we need some space when we're driving down the roads, okay? The queues these days. Have you seen the price of butter? It's going up and up and up and up. It's like inflation through the roof. So less people, like 99.9999% of people gone. Loads of butter. Loads of petrol. Everything sorted. Where is Murphy? Murphy features in quite a few campaigns in the deployment zone. And any campaigns coming up that are... any more future campaigns will come up. They'll be in members as well. Butter. So, thrilled to catch you live. Why is the sky blue? I don't know. It's something to do with the ocean, isn't it? I don't know. It's been 5 years. What do you think will come in 10th edition? The Lion is coming in 10th edition. If Angron's coming soon, 10th edition will start with a bang. I don't think they'll course. I think they'll start to course correct in 10th. But what it will really come down to is the ways to play. What will make or break 10th edition is whether matched play, tournament play. The tournament pack is its own thing. So, I think of Call of Duty. You've got Call of Duty, you've got this engine, and it plays the same way all the time. The game. That's the game, Call of Duty. And there's different ways of playing with that engine. You can go in Warzone, you can go in multiplayer, you can go in single player, you can go in zombies. And the mission packs are essentially different, but the gunplay is the same and the laws of the game are the same. And you can do the same thing with 40k. You can have the 40k rule set, and it can be quite simple and it can be quite streamlined, and therefore the barriers to entry are as low as they possibly can, and you increase the accessibility of the product that you're trying to sell. As well as making all the cool miniatures that they do for 30k and Angron coming out. There's some fantastic miniatures coming along. So make the game as accessible as possible so more people play with their miniatures more of the time, and therefore they're going to buy more miniatures. And so they need a rules pack that is simpler enough with attached codexes that are simple enough to attract the highest player base they can. And then they need to divide the mission packs separately. And if they do this in 10th, so open play actually becomes a thing with a couple of mission packs to support it, or a good mission pack to support it straight away. And open play, it says from the start, is power level only. Bring what you want. Don't worry about detachments. Open play is power level only. Bring what you want. Now, I would play open play using power level, but stick to detachments and show people how to play certain ways of playing that. So open play. Ginger Steve, thank you for your donation. If you could play 40k, if you could play 40k and big narrative boards with models you wouldn't be able to normally use, would that be fun way to play in your opinion? If you could play a big narrative board with models you wouldn't be able to use, would that be fun? I mean, taking an Imperial airstrip forest tank ambush. Yeah. So let's move on to that. So open play becomes its thing. Then you've got narrative play with a deck in it and different ways of playing narrative play. And what they could do with narrative play is they could release their crusade missions like they're doing now, or they could do Ginger Steve's idea, for example. There could be a book that comes out and it's got loads of different narrative missions in it. Say it had 6 missions for street fighting, 6 missions for apocalypse in it, large scale missions in it, 6 missions for combat patrol style missions in it, 6 attack missions, attack and defend missions in it. So you've got a narrative book, a narrative way to play, still the same core rules, still the same codexes being in use, but you can plug and play that system. And the narrative system is supported not just through Crusade, but through various gameplay updates. A narrative thing could hit, which is the prior Nexus narrative. And in the book, it's got a bit of Crusade in it, but it's also got a Planet Strike for the prior Nexus, which you can just play off the bat. It's got Attack and Defense on the prior Nexus that you could play off the bat. And it might have specific war zones in it, which will affect the detachments or effect or certain specific stratagems for that. Maybe one for the attacker, one for the defender, one here, one there. Keep it simple. Support narrative, support open play, support match play, and in the match play you can have Maelstrom of War, and you can have old school Eternal War, or you can have old school attack. Simple objective missions, kill each other missions, line breaker, slay the warlord, things like that, and that's in match play. And Maelstrom of War is in match play, and Grand Tournament Pack is in match play, and the Grand Tournament Pack has the secondaries and tertiaries, and the Grand Tournament Pack could also have restrictions on it. The Grand Tournament Pack could say, Games Workshop could make this a thing. You can only have 2 flyers in your Grand Tournament Pack, 1 per 1,000 points. They could say that in the Grand Tournament Pack that you start off with 6 CPs and you gain 6 CPs in this way. So these things are things that they're already doing, and that's in the Grand Tournament Pack right now. So what they need to do is, right from the off in 10, say here's ways of playing open play, and we're supporting this. Here's ways of playing narrative play, not just crusade, and this is how we're going to support that. And here's ways of playing match play and open play, power level, play what you want. Narrative sets loads of scenes and loads of stories for you, and has books or ways and rules for setting up your own narrative. And match play is different ways of playing a more competitive or more balanced way of playing. And there's the competitive end right at the top end, which is your Grand Tournament, and then the other one's in the middle. It needs to be this ladder, so people with miniatures can get introduced to the game that we all know and love, and that we all play, or most of us play, and that we have fun with. Hanging out in a room, having fun with your friends. So if 10th does that, 10th will be a winner. 10th won't do that. 10th will do something else, and we'll see. I've given up complaining about it. That was just a bunch of suggestions, and saying they won't do that is a belief. I'm not complaining about it. As I said in the previous live stream, I am enjoying the ride. Just enjoy the ride. This is the ride we got. Jedi, thank you for upgrading to membership level 2. This is the ride we've got. This is the 40k we've got, and I've enjoyed playing with my Necrons. I've enjoyed the change, talking to you guys. I've enjoyed painting and building my Necrons. Did some painting with some stuff that I can't talk about yet, and you're going to see some videos come up. And I enjoyed playing with the Titans when they came around. So I'm enjoying the journey. Just enjoy the journey. This is the 40k that we've got. I love 40k. I love the lore. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the sheer amount of leaks we have seen in this edition compared to others? I think it was relatively well controlled, the leaks at the start. But this year something happened. And the leaks just started coming out a lot. And you know that they've got rid of all the playtesters, right? So what they used to have is internal playtesters only in the Mournival, who are associated with the ITC team, I believe. This is now they've got rid of all the external play groups, the external thank you, Yesting Jones, for gifting another 5 memberships. Thank you for helping me on this journey. Love you. Yeah, so it's my belief from what I've heard that they've now got rid of all the other playtesters, and it's now back to the internal playtesters and the Mournival. So when that happened, a load more leaks suddenly hit, because some people were pissed off. Some people weren't pissed off. I'm not a playtester. I've never been a playtester. I've been asked to be a playtester, and I said no, because I'm not interested in testing a rule for this or this, or making suggestions for that rule here or that rule there. I'm more interested in the layers below like how the game feels, how the game functions, how many rules. Here's a codex. You can put 1,000,000 rules in that codex, or you can put 5 rules in that codex. The data sheets, and you can have 5 rules or 1,000,000 rules. How many rules do you need? And that bar, I'm very interested in where that bar sits. And I think that the 30k codexes have shown that. So the rights of war that you can get for bringing a 30k army, or each 30k faction has their own specific reaction. So Death Guard can do this thing once. Death Guard can point to a unit that's getting shot. So imagine this in 40k. You're playing against Death Guard. That unit there gets lit up, and you can say, no, this turn, that unit gets a 4-up feel no pain, 4-up shrug, and at the end of the shooting phase, it will move any direction 7 inches. It can go forward, it can go back, any 7 inches. And you know that, and you know it can only, because when you sit down to play, you say, what's your special action? And the Death Guard player says this. And then you say, what's yours? He asks what your special action is, and you'll say, my special action is this. And that's it. And it's enough to feel Death Guardy when you also add in, most Death Guard players will play in a Death Guard kind of way. There's enough legs in that codex to have a lot of Mark III iron armor, a lot of phosphex, a lot of trench warfare with boarding shields, 5-up invulnerable saves on your regular troops. You can play it that way. If you want to play World Eaters with Reaver squadrons, Reaver companies, and Red Butchers, you can play it that way. It does hit and run very well as well. So there's enough legs in that codex to show that with very low amount of rules, you can paint a wide tapestry of Space Marines. So Dano, welcome to the 13th. Thank you for coming a member. So yes, so I think that's what happened to the leaks this time round. So 9th edition was the most play tested edition of Warhammer 40k, and for all sorts of reasons, that's a project that Games Workshop have decided to stop. And everyone's got an opinion on why Games Workshop have decided to stop. Everyone. So I'm not going to say anything, because you've got an opinion, I've got an opinion, everyone's got an opinion. But this is where we are now, and I'm just enjoy the ride. And we'll see what 10th bring round. I hope 10th is an improvement on 9th, and I hope they managed to I hope they managed to delineate between competitive play and other forms of play better, and don't make that the main way to play at the start of 10th. That would be the first major improvement they can do. And the second major improvement they can do is trim the amount of rules that exist in all the codexes by 50% at least. And the rules that they have make them very simple. Craftworld Alatoc's a good example. I believe it's Craftworld Alatoc. You know, when you've got a chapter tactic or a chapter trait, you normally have 1 or 2 things. Like, okay, so my chapter thing is I can do this. And sometimes it's and I can do this and I can do this. Alatoc, I believe, are 4. They can do this and they can do this and they can do this. And why? I would argue that most chapter traits only need to be one thing. That White Scars do this, Ultramarines do this, Necrons do this. If you want to split the Necrons into factions, split them into 3 factions. This faction does this faction does this faction does this. And make 1 resilient, 1 punchy, 1 shoot. That benefits 1 of each. And that will give, and if you do that right, I play Necrons, that means the punchy lists, 1 becomes punchy, and then you look at the warlord traits that you can add, or a certain number of stratagems, and trim the stratagems right back as well. But you could end up making something really quite punchy and interesting. You can make something really quite shooty and interesting if 1 is clearly aimed that way. You can combine the 2 sides of those well. There's 20 games right there before you even add in the resilient side of things. Yeah, that's what I would do. So that's why I'm not a good play tester, because I don't care what the AP of something is or whether it gets a number of shots out or not. I never really have. Normally, if something's really broken, it gets a points increase. And Games Workshop, if there was less rules, then Games Workshop could correct the power balance more by just adjusting the points more. We've had Armor of Contempt turn up now, and Armor of Contempt affects the Chaos Space Marine Codex on release. So the Chaos Space Marine Codex came out, and there could be people listening to the stream right now that don't know that there's a rule that Chaos Space Marines have, which is called Armor of Contempt. And if you get shot at with any weapon with an AP, you reduce that AP by 1. It doesn't stack with Storm Shields though. So you reduce all incoming AP by 1. So if there's an AP -1 weapon, it becomes AP 0. If there's an AP 0 weapon, you don't increase it, it stays at 0. So Space Marines will typically always get a 3-up save. It doesn't stack with Storm Shields. Storm Shields instead improve your armor save by 1. So improving your armor save by 1 is the same as minuses the damage coming in, except that when you get to AP 0, you can improve your armor save by 1. So your 2-up save can become a 1-up save if you're a Terminator, for example. And Iron Warriors were fact day 1 to say you can't re-roll wounds against them. And these are facts that needed to be brought in because the books, because of the imbalance. If Chaos Space Marines weren't imbalanced on launch, there wouldn't be day 1 patches like you get in the video games industry. But it is. So if there's less rules, if there's 50% less rules, it's much easier to balance stuff just by moving points around rather than adding a rule which changes the overall effect and feel of the game. And therefore Penitent Sisters, naked except for a few streamers and a massive chainsword and a few purity seals, they get a +1. They reduce all AP of weapons coming into them by 1. Because those are magic tassels and things, and purity seals. You're too much about the fun, doesn't help the competitive kids. The competitive kids, Dano, the competitive kids are fun. It's good that there is competitive. Look, again, go back to Call of Duty. Here's Call of Duty, and you can play it in Warzone, or you can just play the single player, or you can just play with zombies. You're still playing Call of Duty. And Warhammer 40k needs to be like that. So here's the core rules and here's the core codexes. And you can still have lots of depth in each codex, even if you cut the rules down in half. Like the crossfire rule is ridiculous. And all the layers and layers and layers, and then the crossfire rule. Just have one unit and another unit shoot at a unit. If 2 units target the same unit with all their shots +1 to hit, you can just leave it like that if you want the crossfire rule. So, yeah. So you've got this... What was I talking about? So it's okay that competitive players... if you delineated, you know what I mean? If it became its own thing... And then if you want to play competitive play, the complexity can come in. Look, again, go back to Call of Duty. I was watching a bit of Call of Duty League on the phone last night while I was trying to... the Royal London Ravens versus the Los Angeles Guerrillas. I was watching that for a bit. And the Los Angeles Guerrillas won. The LAG won, so fair play to them. But I think Ravens are further up the ranking, so that's cool. And what they do on Call of Duty is they restrict certain maps, certain weapons, certain things that you can use. So again, look at competitive play. You can say straight away that... Imagine if a competitive play rule set came out tomorrow for 10th edition and it said this, bam, straight away. In competitive play, you can only use a patrol, a battalion, or a brigade. And that's one of the rules for competitive play. Another rule for competitive play might be you can only gain 1 CP per turn. Make that a competitive play thing. Another rule for competitive play could be minuses to hit may only go up or down by a maximum of 1. So +1 to hit or -1 to hit, and that's it. And you could have a 4th rule, and the 4th rule could be only 2 flyers, one flyer at 1,000 points, 2 flyers at 2,000 points. And those were your restrictions. Bam. And they were up there for match play. And then you played match play, competitive play. And have those restrictions in place. And then everyone would know what they are. And if you launched it with other ways of playing match play, like the simple ways to play, the pickup games of match play. We need pickup games of match play at the moment. Tempest of War is doing it, but Tempest of War, though I love it so much, is a little bit too complicated for a pickup game because it's got secondaries in it. It needs to get rid of them. or have both. Have Tempest of War with secondaries in it and a Tempest of War pack. Call it Maelstrom of War. Why isn't there a Tempest of War pack and a Maelstrom of War pack? Tempest of War, match play. Maelstrom of War pack, match play. And in Maelstrom of War, there's no secondaries. You either play only the primaries, or you could tip it on its head and say in a Maelstrom of War, you don't have any primaries, you just play with the secondaries. You just play one or the other. You could do that. I have no idea how we got here. So we'll see what comes in 10th, and I'll enjoy the ride. And enjoy doing the bits that I like to do and ignore the bits that I don't like to do. And the same for you guys. You could ignore the bits that you don't want to do and enjoy the bits that you do want to do and play 40k your way. And if you're playing in a hobby club or an LGS or something or other, and it's not a good environment, or if there's a person in it, say if you've had a bad experience at a store because there are those guys, there are whack players, then find another community, because there's loads out there. There's the deploymentzone.tv community. We are going to build the Winters SEO community. Yiston Jones, who's a member for 4 months and an absolute legend. Any plans for my Titanicus games on DZTV? I'd like to play Titanicus, but I don't know people who are... It's going to be a difficult one to pull off because of the links and the connections that I have for people who are ready, willing and able to do Titanicus. But I do know Luton plays it. Luton's been very busy at the moment because there's he's had lots of personal things going on. Don't talk about Luton's personal life. But he loves Titanicus and he wants to play Titanicus, and I want to play Titanicus with him. And I've told him I would go all the way down there and play Titanicus with him. And Luton, if you're listening, or if someone is here who is connected to Luton's community, give him another nudge. Just say, hey, Winters was talking about you, because I nudge him all the time. Well, we nudge politely to each other every now and then. So the intention would be to play a couple of games with the legend that is Luton. And then hopefully... we'll see what comes of it. And I know he likes to keep his privacy and no face on TV, but maybe in the future, in a year's time, 2 years' time, or I could not get him on camera, but at least film our game together, or in the meantime, find someone who wants to play Titanicus. The thing about me playing Titanicus is 9th edition is so complicated right now, Yiston Jones, that it's hard for me to compute all of what I've got right now, including the heresy stuff that I want to do. Another reason, a personal reason to make the next edition more accessible and less complex would be to so I can play other games without boiling my brain. I would like AdMech back, please. I don't have a PhD. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. Right. Crab does Titanicus, great teacher too. Well, Crab had a game booked in with me. Something happened to that one. So he'll need to get back in contact with me. Play on TTS? No. Stream it? No. Just make him look like a 70s bank robber. Don't know what you're talking about. Put the game behind a paywall. Well, no. It's if I'm lucky enough to play Luton, then at first and only, it might only be a couple of games with Luton and that's it. He might hate me. We've only been introduced on the internet. He hasn't met me in person yet. And I don't think he watches these things. Only you guys know how annoying I am. Only you guys know all my secrets and only you guys have been on this roller coaster of a journey with me, and as Ronan Keaton said, life is a roller coaster, just got to ride it. And maybe Luton doesn't want to ride me, okay? Maybe he doesn't want to ride me. Hell, I haven't wanted to ride me for a good part of the last couple of years. I wouldn't ride me if you paid me. Even if you held me down, I wouldn't ride me. Would you ride me? Heresy, yes, please. What legion? That's the wrong question, Teutonic Knight. We've already discussed this on previous streams. The correct question is what legions? Luton in a stocking. Nobody can hate you. I'm sure people have and do hate me. And Yeah, I've had to ban a few people in the past. I'm looking forward to banning people in the future. I don't even know if I've got a mod in here. A mod would be nice, by the way. Who wants to be a mod? I don't know. Someone has to. Who wants to be? How do I know who can mod this? But yeah, I mean, yeah, the first time I got a death threat, that was wow. It makes you wonder about people in the. It makes me wonder about like Dave and Matt from Mini Wargaming who've been in it for so long, and it makes me wonder about Luton or Squidmar or Miniac or any of the really big guys. Major Kill, like the curve does this, and as you get more popular, it gets bigger. So the people who hate you and the people who love you, and most in the middle who just watch from time to time, or it depends where they are. And some might be subscribed, some might not be subscribed, and they never comment. And the curve is like that. And when you're tiny, it's a tiny curve. And as you get bigger, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Which means people out here on this extreme, you don't touch them. You don't touch them at first. But eventually you start touching a couple of them. And yeah, there's always people that... people are people. But that's why my message in my Discord and my message in Deployment Zone and my message to everyone has always been try and have fun and try and be excellent to each other. This is a hobby space. This is an escape space. This is a space where we are all invested in 40k. And if you're in that space with me, then when I unleash the virus that kills 99.999% of all the world, you'll be safe because you're in the thing. You're being excellent to each other. Because as I said earlier, a bunch of you've got to go. I mean, honestly. I went to Asda earlier on today, and a beige Volkswagen Beetle. They've got to go. A beige car. Volkswagen Beetle, you know, one of the modern ones. And it was shiny beige. Beige. Gotta go. So, you Warhammer YouTuber, thank you. Winters, you're a role model, thank you. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. It surprises me more than it surprises you that I'm a role model, apparently. But no, you guys are awesome. You are the guys who help ride this train. You're riding, like Ronan Keat said, the roller coaster. Just got to ride it all night long. Do you still have a beer sponsorship? Dang, Skippy, I don't want to talk evil of the dead, so I haven't made a video about it, but I'll tell you on the live stream. Essentially, the beer sponsorship people said they'd send beer, and I got a crate of beer in the end. I might have got 2 crates of beer in the end. And then they stopped sending the beer, even though I asked for the beer. So I see that as either it was their intention all along was to create a flash in the pan and get some sales. And I got 1 or 2 crates of beer. And they're like 12 cans. I think I got 2, maybe only 1. I can't remember. My memory. But if it was really successful and if it really worked, is that a reason to keep going? Or is that a reason like, oh, we've done it now, stop? Because I always intended to mention them and keep the free beer coming. Yeah. So here we are. Dude, your 7th ed bat rebs were my gateway drug. Stay awesome. Thank you. What do you think about victory points? Do you think there's any way to standardize the rules where the victory condition doesn't feel as arbitrarily disconnected for the game? So as I said before, Don quote, if matched play grand tournament thing has its victory point system of 45 and 45, that's fine. But leave it there. That's match play grand tournament. What the game needs is a match play Maelstrom of War, a match play Tempest of War, a match play pickup games. And I would strongly suspect that match play pickup games would be the most common way of playing, or the Maelstrom, or one of the card games would end up becoming one of the most common ways of playing the game. And then some people from that pool, because they'd have come through the open play pool, they'd have swum in through there, through their power level stuff, and they'd have swam in, and then they might go to narrative, or they might go to the match play because they have a game once a week around their mate's house. It's really good fun, and that's how they swim into that pool, and then they might try the match, and then the victory points thing that you're talking about in Maelstrom of War. It could just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the standard Eternal War missions or standard objective securing missions. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4 with First Strike, Line Breaker, Slay the Warlord, things like that. And it's just simple ways of playing. So that's how they fix it. Winters, just want to say thank you. Say your back reps are my favourite on YouTube. Thank you. Are you comfortable saying how much you charge for shout-outs and sponsors? I don't charge for shout-outs and sponsors. I get hit up by NordVPN and Raid Shadow Legends at least once a month. And so I'm supposed to do a thing and put a thing, and then they pay me, I guess. But I don't charge for shout-outs and sponsors. It's more, I'm not famous enough. I don't have that much of a pull. If I shout something out, I'm normally doing it because the things that I shout out, like Element Games have been really good to us, and they've got their hall in Manchester, and we've had a number of events at their hall in Manchester. So and I just know, like with every service out there, some people somewhere have always had some problems, but I haven't. So I like them, and that works. And as for Den of Imagination helped me out enormously by painting things for me. So they painted the Chaos Knights for me, they painted Murphy's War for me, they painted the town which Sultan plays. What else have they painted? They painted the Dark Angels, they painted them, and they're going to be painting through some of the 30k. So I ask for, I'm at a level where I can ask for things in return. That's my level. I don't know. So if you were under an impression that I had another level, I don't have another level. That's my level. It's like, I was in some sponsorship. What do I get? Do you want some free beer? Okay. And then it stopped. Right. Some of us have got work in the morning. I can't switch off live, Winters. Absolutely. I've got to let you know. So, got to let you go. I think I've rabbled on. I've definitely gone way over an hour. So I want to thank you for coming into the live stream today. And I hope to carry on the journey that we have. The best way to support me financially would be becoming a member. Okay, yeah, take care, Winters, everyone. I don't need to hit the mouse, do I? Press the button. So thanks for popping in. Be excellent to each other. Be a gateway, not a gatekeeper. So if you have the opportunity to play with someone for the first time, take a really easy army, help them all the way through it, and aim to help them win. Okay? Be a gateway. There's plenty of stories that you hear of the first person someone bumping into is that guy. If you're a gateway, then you can help make our hobby stronger, better. And you'll set an example for the people that you mentor into the hobby as well. They'll follow you, they'll look up to you, they'll think you're a goddamn hero. So good night. I like how Australia does not exist when people forget about us in New Zealand completely. Sorry, yeah. I can't forget about the people in New Zealand. That's Hobbiton, right? That's where all the little hobbits are. People in New Zealand have really hairy feet, right? And pointy ears and things. Yeah, I watched that movie. Well done, the New Zealanders. So I'm going to be going. Australia's not real, I know, but New Zealand is because I saw it in that movie once. What really... Right, okay, night all. Say goodbye, everybody. This time, I'm going to press the button, check the button. It's that button. So it does work. So we're going now. Be excellent to each other. And thank you for listening. Love you all. Happy wargaming.